Go to Vicario first. 4s all round from us. I can see it on my screen, but you can't see it there. But you guys have given a 3.7. All right, we're going without the public rating then. Yeah, look, he made a couple of good saves throughout the game. Kicked it out a couple of times. Should have done a lot better with the second goal that we conceded. Look, I thought there were a couple of moments that you could see he was struggling with that hernia as well. The guy
was kicking a lot.
Yeah, look, I think he always does that though. The guy needs surgery, and he's going to get it. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, if he's going to miss a game or not. But yeah, he needs to get that done.
Yep, a couple of good saves in there, but I mean, saves you probably expect him to make. And then the second goal, it's poor. I know Gibbs White has a lot of space and he's got a lot of the goal to aim at, but he's put it right at Vicario, and Vicario should be stopping that. I mean, the other goals, can't really blame him too much, but I thought there was a couple of moments where he comes out of his goal and to play a high line, and he could have kept the ball, but he panicked, puts it in row Z or puts a bad kick, and it just gives possession back to Forest. But yeah, it wasn't a great day for him at the end.
Next up, who we got? Djed Spence. I gave him a 4. You gave him a 5. Got hooked at half time. Playing right back. You know, we've all been calling for him to play right back for some time, and I thought he was trying to get down the line and start attacks, which he did a couple of times. But yeah, there's nothing much in there. Was it him that lost his man for the set piece as well?
Was it? Maybe. Fans gave him a 3.9. I thought there were a couple of times him and Porro were linking up all right. I actually thought we looked most dangerous when Porro had the ball and Spence was overlapping, and then we would try and get him behind Forest, but didn't really give too much anyway. He put a couple of crosses in, but nothing happened really. I don't know why we hooked him at halftime. I didn't think he was playing badly. I think we need his power and pace on the pitch right now. So I think it was a bit harsh to hook him, but we did that and we got worse. So there you go. Next
up, who have we got? We got Kevin Danso. I gave him a 5. You gave him a 6. Aerially, 5.1. Yeah, aerially he was phenomenal. I don't know what the stats were, but surely he must have won a big high percentage of his aerial duels yesterday, as he always does.
11 out of 15.
11 out of 15.
Vuskovic numbers.
Yeah. Look, I think he was okay. He was okay yesterday, but he wasn't phenomenal. Like I thought there was a couple of times where he let his defender get in behind him a little bit, and there was one time where I think for the third goal he wasn't strong enough. For the second goal, he was nowhere to be seen. So yeah, that's got to count against him.
Yeah, I think he was marking people for the second goal. I think Sarr was the one who lost Gibbs White. He was marking Jesus, I think. Romero was obviously marking nothing. Yeah, he tried his best. There was a lot of hard work there. Put some long throws in, which one of them led to a shot coming off the crossbar, but other than that, didn't come to anything. Won a lot of headers. Was decent, nothing special, just like a solid centre-back's performance. But as you say, yeah, he lost his man for the third one. Awioni. So that wasn't great.
Next up, Kuti Romero. 4s all round for Kuti. What have they given him?
3.5.
3.5. Look, captain. And a captain in this situation, after putting out a message like that, he's rolled up his shorts, means business, and then he's just slowly trudging back for that second goal. It's embarrassing from him after all the fighting talk. I did think, for times he was trying to drive the team forward, found himself in some quite advanced positions at times, and he was defending okay before then. But whenever I think of Romero and looking back at this game, I just see that replaying him just slowly walking back over and over again, and I think it's nowhere near good enough for a player of his stature.
Yeah. No, I think it was a weird one because I thought he was actually having quite a good game, and then the goal goes in, and I think he lost his head quite a bit. And I thought his passing again in between the lines was good. I thought he was winning his duels. I think he was being aggressive. There was a couple of times. There was one time where he literally ran up the pitch like trying to do everything by himself with no support, and he was like looking for players around him. He was keeping the ball really well. But he wasn't getting any sort of support from anyone around him. That was really frustrating. But yeah, the defending for that goal, he has to get himself back in position. I don't know what he's waiting for, why he's kind of trudging back in the manner he was. It's not a good look whatsoever. It's not good enough. He needs to be defending the space. He needs to be organising defence. Wasn't doing it. Very frustrating, but I thought at times he was having a good game.
Next up is Micky van der Ven. I gave him a 4. You gave him a 5. A couple of moments where he tried to burst through the centre of the park and down the left, but I thought for the majority of it he was a bit kind of pensive and didn't stamp his authority in the game and didn't go in for enough challenges, and I thought he was a bit weak in that aspect.
There was a couple of moments he actually looked quite slow. I was like, he
got burnt once, didn't he?
He got burnt once. I mean, I don't think he got fully beaten, but like he got a player got some space out of him, which very rare I would see from Van der Ven. I don't think he was playing badly. A couple of times he supported the attack. I felt like he should have supported the attack more, but clearly I think he was told just hang back. You be the guy, and Spence maybe gets a bit more license to go forward on the other side. I don't think he should have been taken off. I know he understand that they want to make changes, but I think you have to keep Van der Ven on. He's one of our best players. I know he's not having the best time of it at the moment, but I think if you're going to really put the game on Forest, you need Van der Ven on the pitch. So I think you should put him at centre-back and kept him on. Was that Van der Ven left-back experiment something you want to see again, or was that enough for you?
No, he can be good at left-back, but I just think in the moment that he's at, I don't think he doesn't look good at centre-back right now. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with Van der Ven because he's just not performing well at the moment. And whether it's at left back or centre back, nothing's really working. So I don't really think it matters too much, like whether you put him at left back or centre back. He's got to play. He's one of our better players, but he's just not performing that way. So I don't think it's a positional thing.
But you would see him in centre back, left back in the future.
Yeah, I think he's got the qualities to play there. He does. He's got the speed. He's got the strength. He can contribute to attack. He's a good defender. But we just didn't see that yesterday. All right, next up is Pedro Porro. 3s all round. He was at right midfield in the first half, right back in the second half, and I don't think he was good at either, to be honest. Didn't make an impact in the first half at right midfield in terms of, we all know the quality that he has, and we didn't see it. And in the second half, I thought he struggled defensively. So, yeah, just a poor showing from him.
Yeah, I think this Porro right wing kind of experiment, I understand the kind of temptation for it, but for me, when you pass the ball to him in space and you ask him, okay, take on your man, he's just not able to do it. And every time he's asked to whip a ball in the box, it gets blocked by the defender because the defenders are good, and he's not a winger, so he can't make the space for himself, and that's what we saw. I think when he moved to right back, he got burnt by Hudson-Odoi for the second goal. That wasn't great, and obviously that cost us badly. Wasn't a good day for him, unfortunately. Just lack of quality, no good defensively as well. Set pieces as well, but just didn't do enough from him. I don't think the delivery was like awful, but just didn't take advantage of anything.
Archie Gray up next. 6s all round for Archie. You guys have given him a 5.8. And I thought he was the only one willingness in the middle of the park to actually turn and drive a little bit. The only one looking to take the game to the opposition from the central areas and up for the fight. So, yeah, I give him a 6 for that.
Yeah, I thought he did decent. I like his anticipation, the way he nips the ball away from the opposition, like without even being noticed sometimes. I think he catches them off guard, which is good. And I also like his little interchanges when he's on the ball. But he has not enough players to play off, I feel. And he did it on Wednesday with Xavi, but on this occasion, he just didn't have enough players around him, and he struggled to really impact the game too much going forward. Also, wasn't able to get the ball out wide and put his crosses in, which we've seen him do in those little half spaces in the box. But I thought he was probably one of our better players, so I gave him a 6.
Pape Sarr falls around for Pape. You guys are giving him a 4.4, so literally falls all round for Pape. I think there were times where he looked decent, but for the majority of it, I think he got overrun a little bit and really struggled up against a really strong Nottingham Forest midfield, and he needed to link up with Archie a bit more, and I just felt like he just played within himself a bit too much, and he kind of got lost in the game.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit anonymous. I thought he was kind of bullied by the Forest centre mids, Anderson, Sangare. He wasn't able to get too much advantages out of them. You know, he's supposed to be this kind of box-to-box midfielder, and he didn't really impact the game defensively. Lost his man for the second goal really badly. Switched off. And then also going forwards, don't remember too much he did. He had one shot blocked from the edge of the box, I remember. Other than that, which looked like it might have been troubling. I actually think it deflected and nearly wrong-footed Sells, if I remember. But other than that, didn't do too much.
Mathys tell 6s from us, 6.3 from you. Yeah, he was the only one really having a go at the Nottingham Forest backline. Our only real outlet on the day. He was causing problems, but yeah, like you mentioned in the match review, he can't do it all in his own, and he hit the woodwork just after we conceded, which was a really good effort. Yeah, he kind of lost his impetus as the second half wore on, but in the first half, you know, he was pretty good.
Obviously went off injured quite, 65?
Yeah.
I felt like, Van der Ven didn't support him that much. I felt in the first half, but whenever he got the ball, he was a danger. He was taking people on. He was actually committing players. I was so impressed with some of his upper body strength, like the way he's holding off Milenkovic on occasion. I'm like bursting past him, and I thought whenever he got the ball, he was a threat, getting in behind, getting to the byline, pullbacks, stuff like that. I was impressed, and obviously he had that effort right at the end of the half, which you watch it again. It's so little backlift, yet it's 30 yards out. Somehow gets a brilliant shot out of it, and Sells actually tipped it onto the post. So it was so unlucky. But it seemed as though he was the only one.
Save from Sells.
Brilliant save, and what an effort that was from Tell. I think he's the only one just trying something, being brave. And yes, you know, not everything's coming off for him, but at least every time he gets the ball, he looks like something could happen. And you know, people could criticise him and say, where's the end product? He needs to be better. And yeah, I agree with all that. But at the end of the day, he's a 20-year-old winger in a non-functioning team trying to do his best. And I think at the moment, like, he's looking more and more threatening, like, with each game. I thought he was a threat in this one. And obviously we want to see more from him, but it's so difficult. He's not getting too much support out there. He's doing so much. He's having to beat 2 or 3 players, seems a lot. I like the way he tries to find solutions. He get little flicks in between players, and get a lot of the time he does find his way into the box by hook or by crook, but he needs support. And obviously he needs more qualities from himself as well, but the main thing is he needs players to play off, and he doesn't have that at the moment.
He was the only one that was even close to getting in behind in our team yesterday. And you're talking about players like Mathys Tell and Archie Gray, and if the rest of our players had the same mentality that these guys are showing on the pitch week in, week out, we'd be okay. You know, we would be okay. But it seems as though week in, week out, Tell and Gray are the only ones that are trying and fighting tooth and nail. And that's the shame about it. But Richarlison, I've given him a 3, you've given him a 4, 4.8 from you guys out there. And yeah, I'm not sure what you guys saw in Richarlison's performance yesterday, because I just saw an anonymous display. I didn't really see much in there from Richarlison. I didn't think he had too much box presence. I didn't think he worried Nottingham Forest too much. I was waiting for relegation Richarlison to turn up yesterday, and I don't think we saw it.
Yeah, he was poor from him. There wasn't a link up between him and Solanke, which you'd hope for in this game. There was a couple of times he threatened to get in behind in the first half, but I think one of them he was offside, and he pulled it back along, and Solanke was sliding, and he just missed it. But I think he was offside anyway. He had one header, which I think went just wide. But yeah, he just wasn't enough of a threat. His link-up play wasn't great.
Oh, the header, was it from a corner?
Yeah, I think, it was from a corner. He had a couple of moments, but few and far between. When you're playing Solanke and Rishi together, you expect a bit of link-up and them to play off each other, and it just never happened, really. Not enough. And they seem to play like strangers more than anything. One thing I did find peculiar, he got taken off when we had a corner. I mean, that was weird. Why? We've got a corner. He's your best player, probably attacking the corner, and you take him off. Why not just wait till we don't have the corner?
I actually was thinking to myself at the time he got taken off, I would have preferred to see Solanke come off. I thought Solanke was even poorer than Richarlison. But look, let's get on to Solanke. Threes all round for Solanke. What did they give him?
They gave him a 3.8.
3.8. Yeah, I just thought he had little, next to no impact in the game whatsoever. I think, you know, he had a couple of moments after we were 3-0 down, but the game was completely done by then. And with Solanke, he needs to be putting himself about a bit more. He needs to be physical up against his man. He was dropping deep a lot and to no avail. Like anything that he was trying, it just wasn't coming off.
Yeah, he's like playing number 10 almost.
I just thought he looked really weak.
It was almost like he was playing a number 10 position, which was odd. I don't really get it. But he had that one moment, didn't he, in the first half where he spun 2 players and then got fouled. And that was really frustrating because if he would have got away from that, maybe he could have made something out of that situation. He then had another moment. Actually, to be fair, at 3-0, he really woke up. I mean, it's not much praise, but at 3-0, he had that moment where he flicks it past the player and volleys it from like 25 yards, and Sells had to make a brilliant save. And then a corner comes in, he has a header, which Sells saves, and Moani had the follow-up and put it wide, and that should have been a goal, really. But obviously, it was 3-0
came
at
alive
that
when
point.
the pressure was off.
Yeah, 3-0, obviously the game's already over. But yeah, I think wasn't a great day for him.
I just don't know.
Deep role didn't really suit him too much.
Up until they scored their second goal, what did he offer?
Yeah, very little.
Pretty much nothing. All right, let's get into the substitutes. Javi Simmons came on with about half an hour to go. I gave him a 4. You gave him a 5.
5.1.
Yeah, 5.1 from you guys. Look, I think he did try and drive at them and take it past a few men and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when he came on, it was a little too late. The game was done by the time he came on, and Igor Tudor has a lot of answering to do why he only came on at that point in the game. When he did come on, he had a tiny bit of impact, but still not much.
Yeah, look, he only had 20 minutes. He had 20 minutes. Game was 2-0. It's very difficult to come on and change the game. But look, he did. I think within 30 seconds, he drives at the defence, wins a foul, wins a free kick, and that's like something we hadn't seen any of our attackers do pretty much for a lot of the game, and that was good. But yeah, I think he's positive always forward thinking, which I like. But unfortunately, his crosses were over here and stuff like that. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah. Destiny Udogi, 3s all round for Destiny. You guys have given him a 4. Not sure where you got the 4 from, but I thought he was really poor. You know, he was brought on at half time to really drive at them down the left-hand side, and I don't think he did that. I think he just kept giving away stupid fouls, really frustrating to watch, and I just don't think he's fit. I think that's what it comes down to. You saw how rusty he was coming on against Atletico, and it looked more of the same in this game.
Yeah, I thought he grew into the game a bit as it went on, but definitely for the first 25 minutes or so, he was just fouling players. He was just struggling up against the Forest winger, and his passing just misplaced it, just way too often, misplacing his passes and putting Tottenham in trouble. He's just looking very, very rusty, and he doesn't seem to have that kind of burst of pace to get past people like he does when he's at his best. So yeah, poor performance. Put in a good ball for Bergvall, which Bergvall should have scored. So he would argue maybe he should have had an assist, but yeah, he's just looking rusty at the moment.
Yeah. Next up is Lucas Bergvall. I gave him a 4. You gave him a 3. You guys have given him a 4.2. Again, came on at half time. Was probably the wrong change at the time. Comes on out of position, out on the right hand side, and yeah, he just didn't have an impact. He had that one shot which he shanked wide, and apart from that, I don't really remember seeing him much.
Yeah, he kind of came on and played like inside, like right attacking mid. Didn't really get that change, don't get that position. I understand he's got a decent cross from that side, but it didn't really suit him. He didn't really impact the game too much. A lot of energy, but didn't really find the right positions, and he just seemed a bit lost, to be honest.
Conor Gallagher came on with 6 minutes to go. I mean, there was nothing in it for Gallagher. Like, he came on, the game was 3-0 at the time. Yeah, nothing much to say on his performance.
Yeah, me neither.
And last but not least, Randall Kolo Muani, who came on with about 25 minutes left to play. 4s all round. You guys giving a 3.6, and again, had absolutely no impact in the game. Couldn't get going, couldn't hurt Forest at all. Yeah.
Missed a sitter as well right at the end from a corner. Should have scored that.
Yeah. And last but not least, Igor Tudor. And I'm going to give him, 2, 3. I thought a big part of why we didn't play was because of him. I thought the lineup was all wrong. I thought the changes were all wrong. I thought everything was all wrong from Tudor yesterday in such a pivotal game on the back of 2 positive displays. He's just thrown it all out the window again.
Yep. I don't understand why he didn't build off the back of what was positive about Wednesday. You have Javi there playing so well Wednesday night. Why not utilise some momentum and some kind of good feeling with him and build off that? Yeah, he drops him and only plays in 20 minutes when we're 2-0 down. Baffling to me. Porro right wing. I understand we're limited with options, but that didn't make sense to me. This 4-4-2, I just think, why change what was working in the last game? Then he panicked when, I mean, it's not like it didn't work totally in the first half. At least we penned them in and dominated and we were okay. And then completely panics in the second half, makes a double change for 2 players who are struggling with injury, taking off 2 players who are our fastest and strongest players on the pitch. To add dynamism, you bring on 2 players who are struggling coming back from injury and looking rusty. That made no sense, and we looked even worse in the second half, and then the game got taken away from us. So I think tactically, the lineup wasn't good at all from him. And look, at the end of the day, we lost 3-0 in a pivotal game, and it was really, really poor. So I think he managed the game awfully.
Yeah. All right. So let's get in and